I lost my job last night. Picked up my paycheck, but 35% of it gone already, cause Uncle said they get paid yet. Mom and them bitching about this rent, I ain't even gon' say shit. And half of what is left goes to her.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Vault Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a really awesome 220 and 5 gameplay on Turbine, brought to you guys by Vault Exility. And what makes this gameplay so awesome is that it's on Turbine, which is typically a map that you don't really see 200 pluses dropped on. Usually you're going to see them on like slums, raid, not necessarily slums so much. Well, I guess maybe slums, I don't really know, but more so, you know, you're going to see gameplays like this with these high kills on raid or Nuketown, or maps that are typically known for just being notorious for shitting on spawns and getting high kill games. This is Turbine, and Turbine is not typically a map that you will see these crazy 200 pluses on, so it's definitely a new kind of gameplay to watch. It's definitely entertaining as well to see how he kind of manages such a big map and manages to pull this many kills, which is impressive even for like a raid gameplay, at least in my opinion. But anyways, definitely check out Exility in the description below. You know, drops a lot of 200 pluses, a lot of awesome gameplays. I play with him a lot, run support parties with him. It is fun, you know, just to watch those crazy gameplays, whereas I've never broken 100 kills in my life. He's doubling that. He's going 220 and 5, which is just absolutely insane in my opinion. But either way, the story I'm going to be telling today is actually the story that I promised you guys in my last commentary on Vault. If you guys listened to my last comment on Vault, I promised you guys that I would tell the story of how I got jumped at summer camp. And we hit 300 likes, which is what I asked for in order to tell this story. And we achieved that. You guys did that, so I want to thank you guys so much for that. On this video, once again, let's go for 300 likes. If we don't hit it, that's okay though. At least 250 would make the mark, but 300 would definitely make me, you know, jump with joy and do jumping jacks and you know, flips and magnificent, majestic tricks, you know? So either way, moving on to the story. So I went to a summer camp pretty much all of my time in elementary school, and I've mentioned this place a lot before, so I don't really need to describe it too much, assuming that you guys have watched a lot of my videos on Vault and just Vault videos in general. So I went to this summer camp, and it was kind of like a dumpy place, I guess you could say. Not necessarily dumpy as in it was like ghetto and it was just a crappy establishment. It was more dumpy as in like half of the employees were assholes and a lot of the kids were assholes, and the food was really terrible that they gave us for lunch, which I guess you can't complain because it was free food, but it was awful. My God, it was bad. But either way, so we would go outside every day for recess, and I've mentioned this once again in a commentary before on Vault, and this day was a pretty typical day leading up to when I did get the shit kicked out of me by 2 older kids. What happened was, we went outside, and all the guys would usually go over to the soccer field. The guys would go to the soccer field, and the girls would pretty much stay on the blacktop or the pavement or the whatever you want to call it, and they would just kind of do their own thing. They wouldn't really like play games or anything. They would just kind of sit around and color with chalk and talk about like, I don't know, bugs and boys and Barbie dolls and girl stuff like that, because, you know, we were like elementary schoolers, so there was no such thing as like a girl who was like talking much about like boys or sex or drugs or shit like that. So they were just talking about, you know, like their own little like Barbie stuff. Either way, that's irrelevant. So we were all on the soccer field, and every day we would play a game, whether it was like football, it was dodgeball, it was soccer, we'd play like handball, or we just make up our own game on the fly and just play it. It depended day to day pretty much. And this day we were playing soccer. Now, soccer was the game that we frequented the most. We played this a lot, and it got pretty competitive out there. It was kind of, it was rowdy, I guess you could say, because kids wanted to look the best. So if you were to steal the ball from a kid during soccer, he will go after you the whole game. And we didn't run the same rules that a regular soccer game did. It was pretty much the only rules we said was no handballs and get it in the goal without like running right up to the goal. We didn't establish any other rules. You could have as many people in offense as defense as you want. We didn't really care, and in my opinion, it made it a lot more fun that way. It really did. Now, this game was pretty chaotic. Everybody on my team, we decided to put this one really fat kid named Devin as our goalie because he took up the majority of the goal, and everyone else on my team was on offense because we figured, well, with Devin, we don't need a defense, you know? So we had, I want to say, a good maybe like 8 kids on offense, and there was Devin back there, and then they had like 8 kids on offense and their goalie, I forgot who it was, and the game started. And it was going good, you know, we were like kicking the ball around, having a jolly time, and there would be little like disputes every now and then over whether or not something was a handball or like someone tripped the other kid or something like that. And how I got jumped, I guess you could say, I don't know if you'd call it jumped. It wasn't like they both got out, like came at me at once. I was like, the one kid kind of like pushed me over, and he was older than me, so I didn't really fight back. I thought like I'd just kind of get up after he pushed me over, and then like him and the other kid started kicking me. But either way, that's for later in the story. So we were playing the game, and this happened to be a little like handball foul kind of thing, which I didn't really think was that big of a deal. I was like not involved in this one at all. I just saw it happen. And this kid on the other team, I forgot his name, so we're just going to call him, Jimmy. Yeah, let's call him Jimmy. So Jimmy is the one that was accused of committing the handball foul. So we had like an assigned referee, he was the oldest kid there. He was a 6th grader, and I have no clue why he was there, because this was like only up to 5th grade, but this kid was a 6th grader, and I don't know why, like, I don't know how they even admitted him into this summer camp, but he was there, and he would act as the referee for us. So he determined, he was like standing there thinking, and he came up to a verdict with kind of my assistance, because what I did is I decided to chime in. I don't really know why I did. He was on the opposing team, so I guess I did it kind of to make my teammates happy and give us an advantage, but as you might be able to tell by the topic of this story, it did not pay off. So I chimed in, and I was like, hey, I think Jimmy actually did commit the handball, because I saw him touch the ball, and I saw him do that, and I think he should get the penalty, and we should get a free kick. And we still went by like, free kick rules and stuff like that. It was pretty much just like no normal formation rules, I guess you could say. So the referee, his name was William, and actually that is his real name. I do remember that. William was like, all right, Nick is probably right. I'm pretty sure that it was a handball, because, Nick's like, he's been playing soccer with us for a while, so I'm going to take his word on it. So naturally, this pissed handball kid off. Jimmy was angry, and Jimmy, he went back to the game, and he went after me, and I noticed it. So in between one of the like drives, whatever you want to call it. I'm not really so good with soccer and soccer terminology, or in the UK, you guys call it football, whatever you guys want to call it. It's where you kick the ball with your feet. So I wasn't really sure why, like, he was going after me so fiercely. And in between, like, I guess, like, playing times when we were, like, shifting the ball like the other team, stuff like that, after a goal was scored, what we did was, we would kind of take like a little intermission, I guess you could say, for like 30 seconds or something before, like, after, let's say we'd score a goal on them, we would then give it to the opposing goalie, and we would switch off every time. And I don't know if that's actual real soccer/football rules or not. I just know that that's how we did it. So we switched off to that goalie. We had this little intermission period, and I go up to Jimmy, and I'm like, dude, I didn't mean to like make you angry or anything. And I guess the idea of me pissing Jimmy off did not help. It made him even angrier, because he didn't like, he thought that I was coming off as cocky or something. I don't really get his logic behind this, but he kind of went off on me, and he pushes me, and I tripped. And I was like, all right, well, I'm probably just going to get back up. Jimmy's probably not going to do anything to me. He's not going to like bother me. No, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. What happened is, when I fell over, I tripped over some other kid's foot, and it was like half of his shoe. So I tripped on one leg, and then the other came down, and my whole body came tumbling down. I was down on the ground, and I didn't get up right off the bat. I kind of just like sat there for a second, and he started kicking me, and I was like, whoa, because that was not expected, and Jimmy was a grade older than me. I was in 3rd grade at this time, and Jimmy was in 4th grade. I believe that was right. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure I was in 3rd grade, and Jimmy was in 4th. Either way, so he starts kicking me when I'm down, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, this is not good. And I didn't fight back. I didn't retaliate, because he was a bigger kid than me. He was taller, he was stronger, he was older, which automatically kind of struck fear into the heart of any elementary schooler, excuse me. So I just kind of took it, and then he calls his friend over. His friend, I actually remember this kid's name. His friend's name is Cameron. So Cameron comes over and joins in on it. They're both kicking me. They didn't like punch me in the face or anything, thank God. They were just kind of kicking me pretty hard. At least it felt pretty hard, They were kicking me. They were absolutely going ballistic on me, until finally some other kids in the game stepped in and were like, hey, you gotta stop doing that. And they kind of like pulled them away from me. And after that, I got back up, and I was pretty hurt. I wasn't like crying or anything, because at that point I was a little older than, the age where you would just cry for every little like, knee scrape or anything. So at that point I was, all right. I was just kind of, it hurt, and I got bruises, and I was sore, so I kind of sat out the rest of the game, and I just watched the game with the referee. His name was William, as I mentioned before. So, I just talked to William for the rest of the game, and told him how I got the shit kicked out of me, and I don't really know why I told him the story, because he just watched the whole thing unfold. But yeah, that's how I got the shit kicked out of me, and I guess, quote-unquote, jumped at summer camp. and it wasn't a fun experience. It bruised like hell, and it hurt for the next like 4 days. Kids would come up to me and like hit me in the side, because that's where they mainly kicked me, and they actually stomped on my stomach a little bit too. Not that hard though, thank Jesus. But you know, it hurt, it sucked ass, and it was not a fun experience. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time. It wasn't the most eventful story in the world, I know. However, I've been promising this one for a while, so I felt I should tell it. Once again, let's hit 300 likes if possible on this video. Go for 250 to 300. That would make me very happy. Check out Exility in the description below for some more 200 pluses. And also don't forget to check out myself. I tell a lot of stories on my channel if you guys enjoy my content here on Vault. And I also kind of talk about other things. I rant about random stuff, and you know the drill. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys will drop a like and a comment sharing your thoughts, or if you have anything similar to this that happened to you at summer camp or stuff like that. So yeah, have a nice night/morning and enjoy soccer/football games depending on where you live. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Peace.
Okay, I walked in the party, Mr. Swag, so gnarly with a bad Spanish mommy, better act somebody. In my Maserati going ham, no salami, that's your chick. If I like it, then I'm straight. Boat garden in a club, where the bottles that rose, no Moscato, they see me, models follow, ass clap, hey, Bravo lobby, why? Then my niggas see my juice, they 6 figures, fuck you.